Hey, pause for a second. No, don't click away. I'm not asking you to close the app or toss your phone across the room. I need you here, just for a moment. Not with your eyes, with your mind. Take a breath. Not a shallow one, a real one. The kind that makes your chest rise and your thoughts slow down. There it is. Now let me tell you something you probably haven't heard in a while. Something your soul is starving for. You don't need to push harder. You don't need another grind set. You don't need to hustle your way into the hospital. You need to rest, not sleep. Not zoning out to YouTube on autoplay. Not scrolling until you forget what time it is. I'm talking about real, soul-level, nervous system calming, peace-bringing rest. The kind of rest that doesn't just patch the holes in your energy, but refills your power completely. Because when you're truly rested, you're not weak. You're dangerous again. And yeah, I said dangerous. We've been fed this myth that if you stop, you'll fall behind. That rest is laziness in disguise. That unless your calendar is packed and your eyes have bags under them, you're not doing enough. That's nonsense. You weren't built to be a machine. Machines break down. Humans burn out. And most of us aren't living anymore. We're just functioning, dragging ourselves from one obligation to the next, like ghosts pretending to be people. You call it being productive. I call it slow self-destruction. And when we do finally try to rest, we don't even do that right. We rest with a phone in one hand and guilt in the other. We collapse into bed but bring our to-do lists with us. We eat meals while standing. We check emails on the toilet. That's not rest. That's survival mode dressed up as modern life. Let me tell you a story. One that's never left me. There was a young blacksmith who wanted to forge the strongest blade in the kingdom. He practiced day and night. He hammered steel until his hands bled. He barely ate, barely slept. He believed the more he worked, the better he'd become. Across town lived an older blacksmith. Quiet, calm, methodical. He worked half the hours, took walks, drank tea, and yet his blades never chipped, never cracked. Word spread. One day the young blacksmith asked him, "What's your secret? How do you get more done in less time?" The old man looked at him and said, "I don't just hammer the blade. I sharpen the craftsman." And that's what rest does. Rest is not the enemy of achievement. It's the fuel of it. Rest doesn't make you fall behind. It makes you rise above. When you're rested, your decisions are sharper, your emotions calmer, your mind clearer, your relationships healthier. You laugh more, love deeper, speak wiser, and choose better. But instead of rest, we numb. We binge content we won't remember. We eat food we don't taste. We hang out with people who drain us just to avoid being alone. That's not healing, that's hiding. And the truth is, some of us are terrified of real rest, because rest requires presence, and presence means facing what we've been avoiding. So we stay busy, distracted, overcommitted, secretly exhausted, and somehow we've made burnout a badge of honor. Like being perpetually tired is something to brag about, as if your worth is measured in caffeine and cortisol. Enough. Burnout is not a personality trait. Fatigue is not your default state. Exhaustion is not your identity. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you woke up and didn't feel behind before your feet hit the floor? When was the last time you felt clear-headed? Like you could sit in silence without squirming? Like you were actually here? Not just alive, but awake. That's rare, but it shouldn't be. Because rest brings you back to yourself. It quiets the noise, it unclenches the jaw, it softens the shoulders, it whispers, "You're okay. You're allowed to stop." And when you do, something incredible happens. You start creating instead of reacting. You start listening instead of defending. You stop chasing validation and start owning your space. Rest is not about doing nothing. It's about doing the thing that matters most, reconnecting with your power. Because a well-rested person can see clearly, choose intentionally, live deeply. And if you've forgotten what that feels like, that's okay. Start small. Step away from the noise. Put your phone down on purpose. Breathe on purpose. Close your eyes and ask, what do I actually need right now? Then listen. That's rest. That's resistance. That's power. So no, this wasn't just another pep talk. This was a reminder. You don't need to earn rest. You just need to receive it. Because the world doesn't need a more exhausted version of you. It needs the real you. Fully alive, fully present, fully rested. Feel like this spoke to your soul? Let it echo. Like, comment, and subscribe. So this kind of rest-first mindset keeps reaching the people who need it most. Maybe that's you. Maybe it's someone you love. Thanks for watching.